Okay. The April 9th City of Friendswood Planning Zoning Commission regular meeting is now called to order. We'll start with communications from the public. In order to comply with provisions of the Open Meetings Act, the commission may not deliberate on subjects discussed under this agenda item. However, the commission may direct such subjects be placed on a later regular commission agenda for discussion and/or possible actions. We have Mr. Chris Johnson.
If it's okay, can I talk during the public hearing?
This is an agenda item.
Okay, I missed that part. I'm sorry, Chris.
Yeah, no problem.
Yep. Okay.
Waste your time.
No others. We'll move on to the consent agenda. These items are considered routine or ministerial in nature and will be enacted with one motion. There will be no separate discussion of items unless the commissioner so requests, in which case the item would be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. Item A, consider approving the minutes of the regular meeting held Thursday, March 26, 2026. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion approved.
Second.
Okay. We have Man in Bounds. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Motion passes. Next, action items. Item A, public hearing, release of electric easement. Conduct a public hearing concerning a request to vacate an electrical easement consisting of 1.076 acres being 21 and a half feet wide and located along the westerly property line of 3535 FM 528 and extending south to the Harris County flood control ditch. As recorded in Harris County Real Property Records, file number RP 2024-424559, City of Friendswood, Harris County, Texas. Staff summary, Aubrey?
Yes, sir. This is just a formality to vacate an easement. Clear Creek ISD dedicated this easement to this, or dedicated the easement to the city in partnership with Madison Development Corporation in forethought, trying to be forethoughtful about development in the city center. Since that time, CenterPoint has basically refused to accept the easement from the city. The intent was for the city to turn around and dedicate the easement to CenterPoint, but they won't accept it as is. So the school district has released the easement that's on their property. Madison Development has assigned an agreement, an amendment to release the easement as well. And then, so this is kind of the last step for the city to release this easement. A new easement will be dedicated in the exact same place. It may be a little bit different size. I think it may be smaller on the ground, but still be the 21 and a half feet in the air. But the easement would be dedicated by plat. There is a surveyor or an engineering firm working on a plat for these two tracks. The school district owns one and the city owns one. So we'll just rededicate the easement, or they can obtain it by separate instrument at the time of platting.
Okay. Item B, recommendation, release of electric easement. And I'm sorry, there's no public comment card, so. Consider making a recommendation to City Council considering the same request to vacate an electrical easement. We'll start commission discussion. We'll start with Commissioner Phillips.
I have no objections to this recommendation.
Commissioner Mann.
Nothing. Makes sense. They're going to redo it when they get building.
Okay. Commissioner Anderson.
Excuse me, no comment.
Commissioner Bounds.
I'm good with it.
Commissioner Rives.
Just housekeeping.
Same here. Do we have a motion to approve?
I move to approve.
I'll second.
We have Bounds.
Is that both A and B?
Well, A is just public discussion. B is
Okay.
the approval. So we have a motion, a second. All in favor? Motion passes. Item C, public hearing, Autumn Creek Future Land Use Map, FLUM Amendment. Conduct a public hearing concerning a city-initiated request to amend the future land use map, FLUM, to change certain parcels within Autumn Creek Section 3 and Section 5 from garden homes and low-density residential to low density let me repeat that. Autumn Creek Section 3 and Section 5 from garden homes and low-density residential to low-density residential. Staff summary, Aubrey?
Yes, this is kind of a cleanup item. We've been working on it for a couple of months. I went and met with the HOA in January to explain what we would be doing in case they had any, concerns from their residents. We also mailed Curtis, an explanation letter to all the affected properties. I think there's 41 of them. So basically, when the developer of this property developed the property back in 1998, they drew the shape that's on your bottom left-hand side of your screen in the red for their zone change request. And then when they platted it in a different shape, basically. So what's drawn in as far as zoning and the future land use map doesn't match what's on the ground that was platted. So it's just a cleanup effort. Got a few phone calls from residents, mainly ones that were not notified, I guess, because we put signs out there as well. We newspaper notice, sent all the property owner notices to everybody within 200 feet. But basically, the next screen will explain it a little, or the next item will explain it a little more, but like I said, just cleanup item.
Okay. Item D, public hearing, or, excuse me. Yeah, public, okay,
Just go ahead and close the public hearing, that'd be
Yeah.
great. Just close it, move on to the
okay.
next item.
We'll close the public hearing for the Autumn Creek Future Land Use Map Amendment. Next, recommendation, Autumn Creek zoning correction. Conduct a public,
Item D is going to be the public hearing for the zone change, and then item E is going to be the recommendation for
Oh,
both
okay.
public hearings. It's
Okay.
a little different than usual.
okay. So item D, public hearing, Autumn Creek zoning correction. Conduct a public hearing concerning a city-initiated request to amend the official zoning map to change the zoning classifications of certain parcels within Autumn Creek Section 3 and Section 5 from Garden Home District, GHD, and single-family residential, SFR, to single-family residential, SFR. Aubrey? summary?
This is the same cleanup item. Can you go to the next slide? So after we make the corrections, this is what the map on the right is what the corrected map should look like. So basically, currently, there's a lot of lots that have 2 zoning designations on them, and that shouldn't be the case. We do get calls from real estate appraisers sometimes asking what the zoning designations of these properties are, and it doesn't make sense that it has 2 of them. So these are, I drove out there, and these are all 90-foot lots with detached garages. The one, I think it's Silver Leaf Court, that is a true garden home district street, and so it will stay. But it's, like I said, it's just a cleanup.
Okay. We'll close the public comments. Item E, recommendation, Autumn Creek FLUM amendments and zoning correction. Consider making a recommendation to the City Council concerning amendments to the future land use map, FLUM, and amendments to the official zoning map of certain parcels within Autumn Creek, Section 3 and Section 5 as discussed. We'll start with discussion. Commissioner Bounds.
No, it makes sense. Been out there, and they seem to be the proper size, so.
Mr. Anderson.
Everything looks in order to me.
Commissioner Rice.
The only thing I saw is if this said existing land use map, we'd be there. But future, I think we're just doing more housekeeping.
Commissioner Mann.
And that's correct. It's housekeeping. We do want the future land use map and zoning to match each other in both directions. And this moves us more, they're 90-foot lots. It needs to be SFR. So making it that way is in the direction we want to go as well. So good to go.
Commissioner Phillips.
I agree. I agree with the changes.
Yeah, just general cleanup, so I have no issues. We have a motion, or do we have a motion to approve?
I'll have a motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rice. Commissioner Mann. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Motion passes. Item F, public hearing. Subdivision ordinance amendments to authorize the director of CDD to approve plats. Conduct a public hearing concerning proposed amendments to Appendix B subdivisions of the Friendswood City Code to authorize the director of community development to approve plats, except in certain situations consistent with local government code, Chapter 2120065, and to make minor administrative corrections. Aubrey, staff summary?
Sir. So this has been quite an undertaking. We were working on it up until yesterday with Karen, Becky, and myself. So hopefully we've got it pretty clean. But just to give you a summary and an overview of the proposed changes to the subdivision ordinance. So the intent was to streamlining the plat approval process, delegating authority to staff for efficiency, and making minor administrative and procedural clarifications. So the primary change is authorizing the Director of Community Development to approve plats in certain situations. And this is in accordance with Local Government Code, Chapter 212.0065. It was a change that was made in 2023, I believe. So if this takes place, basically, the director would take the same actions that the commission takes: approve, conditionally approve, and disapprove with reasons. They all require, resubmittal. It would be no different than the commission taking, their actions on these plats. So Planning and Zoning Commission involvement would still be required when to review and approve master plans. If the director chooses to refer a plat to the commission for consideration at any point, that is available. And if the director denies a plat, an applicant has an option to file an appeal. If the commission approves a plat and it needs an extension, then the extension request would come back to the commission. Basically, the original approver would be the approver of an extension request. And then the commission would still hear and decide appeals from Keep Friendswood Beautiful regarding parkland improvements. And basically, this reduces delays by allowing routine plats to be approved administratively. Plats must be approved if they meet local and state law. Next slide, please. So the changes were just intended to provide a clear approval timelines and process. It's compliant with the 30-day deadlines for plat applications. It also allows applicants to request 30 days extensions, which is in state law as well. So this is just intended to improve predictability and transparency for applicants and ensure compliance with state requirements. The formal appeal process, so applicants can appeal to the director decisions to the commission. So the ordinance changes outline how to file that appeal, and then the timeline for the commission to consider those is within 30 days. So this just maintains oversight and due process and provides a clear path for resolving disputes. And then administrative and procedural updates. So minor updates throughout the document. Basically, we're just trying to clean up grammatical changes, remove definitions that are not used, and things like that. So clarified application requirements and the submittal procedures, allow flexibility for staff to waive certain submittal items when appropriate, update language for consistency with current practices, and improve organization and readability. So this just makes the ordinance easier to administer and understand, and aligns with current development processes and internal workflows. So with all these changes, there's no changes to design standards. All of our street, utility, lot design, infrastructure requirements remain the same. The focus on this was to improve process and not changing development rules.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Okay. So now we do have Mr. Chris Johnson. If you could introduce yourself and
Hello, Chris Johnson, 36 Wilderness Trail. I oppose really it would be G, and then also, basically, I oppose allowing staff to be the sole decision maker and arbiter when it comes to land planning in this municipality. This is no offense to Aubrey or to Becky. They have an encyclopedic knowledge of the rules and the ordinances in this community, and I think that they do a good job in ferreting out problems and plats before they get to you. But the problem is that you're taking a public process that is coming before a board of citizens who are representatives of the people, and you are making it a private and secret process that is only accessible through open records requests, which I can tell you as a lawyer, open records requests are kind of a pain in the butt. So the idea is you're taking something that would come before this board, it would be put up on the screen for everyone to see, and I know that you guys do this a lot, and I know that you typically do it to an empty room, right? And you feel like, hey, this is just gonna streamline a process. But the whole idea about government is not meant to be convenient. It's supposed to be done right. That's why you are here. That's why you volunteered your time, to make sure that it was done right. Allowing a process that was once public become secret is a bad idea. It takes the power away from the people, which you are here to represent, right? So I know that you're volunteers. I appreciate your volunteering to do this work. It's thankless. By the way, being a city planner is thankless work also. So I appreciate this. And Aubrey, this is not personal to you. I oppose generally taking action on land planning in a community where the land mass is all but spent. I respectfully disagree that there will be any more routine land planning done in this municipality. It won't be routine things. There are provisions in the local government code regarding administrative replats where there's not major subdivisions of property. I don't think you're gonna see a lot of that. I think you're gonna have lots of water and sewer issues, which have already happened. You're gonna have lots of serious lot design and lot density things that need to be in front of the people. They might need to know that it's happening, right? They won't know it's happening if Aubrey is the sole arbiter of whether the requirements have been met. And again, Aubrey, I think you do a pretty good job. But the idea is that, and I have personal experience with this, I would not have known about development that was going to affect me if it hadn't come before this board. And by the way, we have a right to disagree about whether it's supposed to be this way or not supposed to be this way, but we get to have that discussion, right? And that's a good functioning government when that happens. It's not functioning when it happens out of the view of the public. So I respectfully suggest with regard to items G and, I think it's G and H, is it H?
G and I, probably.
G and I, pardon me, G and I, that you vote no on these. And again, I want to be as respectful as I can because I have interacted with the city staff. I think the city staff is very good at applying the ordinances to replats, to site plans, bringing them in front of you and letting you know whether they're compliant or not compliant. But I think taking that public part of this process away is a terrible idea, especially in a municipality where we're going to have very difficult decisions to make on land planning as it gets tighter and tighter. I mean, we're out of space, right? So I would respectfully ask this board to vote no on both of these items. I understand there's some other things that may need to be looked at as far as cleaning up the process. I always support cleaning up a process where it makes sense, but allowing the staff to operate, make these decisions outside the full view of the public is a mistake. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you.
Anybody else? No? Okay. We'll close public comments. Item G, recommendation, subdivision ordinance amendments to authorize the director of CDD to approve plats. Consider making a recommendation to City Council concerning those same proposed amendments to Appendix B subdivisions. Commission discussion.
Can I add one
wanna
thing
add?
before you go? So just, I don't know how this vote's going to go, but I'm just going to preface it with, I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. The minor administrative changes are important and would be useful and helpful. So y'all do have the option. It's not an all or none situation. If you want to make the recommendation where you don't approve the changes in site or in plat approvals, but would be in favor of the minor administrative changes, if you could make your motion that way, just so, like I said, we don't lose all of our work.
Whoever makes the motion, just keep that in mind. We'll start this one with Commissioner Bounds.
I think when we discussed this a couple months ago, I did bring up kind of the same information that Mr. Johnson did as well. Not that I don't trust our team, I think they're the best around, but I did have some concerns about that. But I don't have a problem with them making the minor changes necessary.
Okay. Commissioner Anderson.
I struggle with this one quite a bit because I agree quite a bit with Mr. Johnson as far as future needs for plat approval. And, but at the same time, I think that if we can address the efficiency items, I strongly agree with that.
Okay. Commissioner Rice.
I think we've all spent some time on this one, if I'm not correct. I've had a lot of feedback from public and, well, public figures and just people in the community. So I've made a list of pros and cons for myself. I know the pros: time saving, reduce the meetings, streamline permitting, prep time. I appreciate all that. My list of cons is a little longer. Most of it is the same thing Mr. Johnson brought up, but less eloquent. The lack of citizen input and public communication, the lack of extra eyes on projects, questions and concerns coming up from the public, and pushback from some of the citizens on certain things. It's just good to take the temperature sometimes, knowing even if we approve something that there's people out there that disagree, or vice versa. I kind of like the current process just because I like being involved in it, just from a personal standpoint. And I do get asked quite often about projects coming up, or, hey, what's going on with that lot, or what's going on with this project. So I do feel like the public would be losing out on it.
Commissioner Phillips.
I'm split on this. I do like the idea of the administrative cleanup to make it more efficient. You know, I'm the newest commissioner on our panel right now. And I do think that having the public discussion is important. So I feel if that changed, I don't have a long history with this commission, but I think that I do like having the public comments. I think it's important too. But if there's ways that we can do that and streamline and make it more efficient, but maybe not take the decision-making away from the commission.
Mr. Mann.
Nobody will argue with me saying that I'm not as eloquent as Mr. Johnson, and I don't have a pros and cons list per se, but one thing that I'm really happy that everybody here has taken this seriously and really thought through it. I am 100% for efficiency and streamlining, but I think there's a process for a reason. Some points that I hadn't thought about that I could add to my pro and con list had I made one is we are running out of land, and so the routine is going to happen less and less. I think that's a really good point that I hadn't thought through yet. But I do think that the grammatical errors and the changes, you bring up a really good point there. So I think we can come to a agreement there where we can help to streamline it a little bit. But I do like the process, the way it works. And then for all the reasons that everybody has already mentioned, for the same purpose, I have been approached by more than 10 people asking about this specific topic. So I know that it's important to a lot of people, and that's, again, why I'm so happy that everyone here has really wringed their hands through and thought about it. That's it.
For me, coming from an industry where we focus on operational efficiency, the initial thought was interesting to me, to be able to speed up our processes and improve it, right? But then as I got to having discussions and thinking about this, listening to some of the other commissioners, listening to people in the public, there's, there are concerns with it. Number one, I do feel that we do need to have this additional opportunity for citizens to come speak and put their opinions out on these subjects, right? Also, for me, as the chairman of this committee, I really like the idea of our people seeing as many sets of drawings as they can, just so they're constantly looking at things. They're constantly, they're not getting stagnant, right? So I like the idea of them seeing the drawings come through. You know, besides the compliance, administrative, and just general cleanup, I'd have to say that I'm not real fond of the idea of turning over approvals. So, any other comments? Okay. Do we have a motion?
I like the idea of the motion to recommend no with exceptions to minor administrative changes.
So a commission to approve excluding,
So we're recommending to city council that we recommend no, that they don't take the authority away, that the CDD does not get the authority, but that they do have the ability to make minor administrative changes, especially grammatical.
is that good, Karen? Yes. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Commissioner Mann and Commissioner Anderson. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Motion passes as stated by Commissioner Mann. Okay, item H, public hearing, zoning ordinance amendments to authorize the director of CDD to approve site plans. Conduct a public hearing concerning proposed amendments to Appendix C zoning of the Friendswood City Code to authorize the director of community development to approve site plans, except in certain situations, to consolidate site plan approval requirements, and to make minor administrative corrections. Aubrey, staff summary?
Yes, just a few slides on this one as well. Again, just an overview of the proposed changes. The intention was to streamline the site plan review process, authorizing the director to approve site plans, and also make minor administrative and procedural updates. I said the primary changes were to change anywhere, that the commission was authorized to just change it to the director. So we can go on to the next slide. The commission would still hear and decide appeals regarding non-conforming uses and structures. They would still hold public hearings and make recommendations to city council for ordinance changes to the subdivision and zoning ordinance. You would still hold public hearings and make recommendations for zone change requests, specific use permit requests, and requests to vacate public easements, and also approve any site plans that included requests for alternate landscape, screening, parking, increased building heights, or other special exceptions or requests. Let's see. We can just skip this. And again, just the minor administrative changes. More of the changes in this section. When we adopted the new building codes in January, February, we moved a lot of, or copied a lot of items from the zoning ordinance regarding certificates of occupancy and permitting requirements and things that were in the zoning ordinance, and we moved them to Chapter 14. So striking through a lot of that stuff that we relocated to a more appropriate place was part of these changes. And then also relocating some language for clarity as far as the applicability of this section was at the very end, and we just moved it to the beginning. So it was, like I said, a lot of more administrative work that makes the ordinance more readable. So. And again, just we're not changing any development standards. It was just a lot of cleanup and the proposal to authorize staff for site plans. That's about it.
Okay. Any public comments? No?
I gave my public comment, I think.
All right, we'll close public comments. Item I, recommendation zoning ordinance amendments to authorize the director of CDD to approve site plans. Consider making a recommendation to City Council concerning those same proposed amendments to Appendix C zoning. I'll start with the commission discussion. We'll go backwards this time. Commissioner Phillips.
I feel like I'm in the same position as I was on the prior issue, where it would be streamlining, but still the commission would make the decision.
Okay. Commissioner Mann?
Again, I think I'm very similar. I think the difference with this one is, while with the plats, the law just changed a couple of years ago where we had the ability to change it. Site plans, no one around us actually does it. So it's the one slight difference than the plats with the site plans. So something to think about. I don't know if that's enough to sway me from changing the way we do business, but just one added piece. And I will also say, even if we do make changes, and a lot of times if we do, it's usually approved with a slight change here and there of the three options, outcomes. If we left it to the city, then the approvals would always happen as approvals, just like they would for us. It's that middle ground that makes a change. And the amount of work that y'all do is amazing, and therefore we barely make changes. We rarely find stuff. But I do think that there is an intent to the process of how we go about it. That is my 2 cents.
Okay. Commissioner Bounds?
Ditto, excuse me, ditto. I mean, I'm the same as I was last time.
Mr. Anderson?
I'm pretty much in the same place. And also the wording on the last slide of routine versus complex cases, I think that's a fine line. Like, to me, it's something always deciding. Is this routine or is it complex? And I don't know how to define those up front.
Mr. Rice?
Same boat as last time.
The only thing I'll add is just also the ability to, when we review the drawings, we may come up with items that we think should occur on that property. It meets all standards, it meets all codes, it meets everything, but we really would like a recommendation that something else apply to that property. Whereas we may approve it, it's good for city council to know that those were opinions, right? So the only other thing I'll add to that.
Agreed.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion similar as before. I don't know how to word it.
Administrative changes with no delegation of authority.
Sounds good.
Again, more eloquent than I put it.
So Commissioner Rice approves. How? Okay.
Recommendation, no,
Okay.
with
So
the
we got-
exception of minor changes.
Commissioner Rice, and then we have a second.
I'll second.
Okay. Commissioner Phillips. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? All right, motion passes. Item J, site plan, The Edge, to be located at 401, 391, and 395 West Edgewood Drive. Consider approving the site plan for The Edge, a development containing 3 new buildings and a detention pond to be located at 401, 395, and 391 West Edgewood Drive, City of Friendswood, Galveston County, Texas. Aubrey, got staff summary?
Basically, it's pretty straightforward. There's 3 buildings being proposed on this property. It's about, I think, 4.9 acres. The zoning is flip-flopped on this property several times over the past few years. It's sandwiched between commercial and residential, so it's kind of gone back and forth. So we have buildings proposed. This is the furthest we've gotten. We approved the zone change. They replatted the property, and so now this is the site plan approval. The biggest building is on your drawing on the screen is the bottom one. They will share parking, detention, and it'll be office use type buildings, so.
Okay. Is the applicant here like to speak? If you can come introduce yourself.
I'm Chris with Jacob White, and yeah, it's going to be office use. The largest building on the bottom is actually going to be for our office for Jacob White. The second largest building is going to be for a large steel drafting group. The third, the small front one, is still speculative at this point, but we'll see where it goes. We're just really excited about it, and if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Okay. You're more than welcome to sit down or remain standing in case there are questions.
Happy to.
Okay. Next, we'll move to Commissioner discussion. Oh, change it up. Start with
right.
Commissioner Mann.
I like it. I have a question.
Yeah.
Starting off, where does the title "The Edge" come from?
The truth behind it is we kind of felt like it was Edgewood, right? The street.
Yeah.
And it's the edge of Pearland, the edge of Friendswood. And so we were just trying to kind of create something edgy, a little different.
All right,
And
all
we were
right.
trying to create a little draw for the staff and the employees, and we wanted something kind of catchy. So we were like, we started with the 401, and then we were like, no, we can't do that. So we went to the edge. And
I like it.
that's where it became.
I like it. I really like that the parking is in the back, off the road, and I like that the oaks that I'm assuming you're leaving, they're not planted, they're leaving in the front.
Yep.
And as well as the other landscaping. Obviously, the rendition looks beautiful as well, but overall, nice. Really like it.
Thank you. Yeah, the trees were the draw for everybody. So,
That's a big win around here.
yeah, it's very cool.
Commissioner Phillips.
I liked the conceptual, the drawing that we had, and I do like the setup, and I like the name, actually.
Hey, that's good.
I mean, it is cool, but, no, but I think overall, I like the way that it's laid out.
Commissioner Rose.
I will say, when I first saw this pop up, that I got really excited thinking we were going to have a member of U2 moving into the community for his site plan for a cool house.
That's right. There you go.
Close enough.
Yeah.
I had a couple of just house cleaning things on the plans that I thought. One was, I think all their code criteria is out of date now. Did we change the,
2020,
They submitted before we changed code, so they're.
wasn't sure about it.
yes, I was trying to remember. I thought they were one that got it in before.
They did.
Yeah, just snuck it in. Yeah.
And then I had a question, I can't remember off the top of my head, but handicap parking sizes, whether we allow 9-foot or 10-foot wide parking in van accessibility, so.
Maybe wrong. The spaces themselves, I believe, are the same. It's the access aisles that gives you the extra width.
Yes.
I think,
But we will check that during inspection.
Okay.
I can double check there's a detailed plan with the handicap stuff. I can double check.
okay, that's all I saw.
Okay.
Just
No,
double
good
checking.
catch.
Commissioner Anderson.
It all looks good to me.
Okay. Commissioner Bounds.
Thank you very much for the trees. That looks great. My only, and it's not an issue, it's just preference, the big, huge, white JWC, be nice if that was toned down a little bit, not just glaring at my face when I drive by every day.
Yeah.
You know, just a shade or two lighter.
We're
Or
not
darker.
100% convinced it's going to actually remain on that front edge. We've got the name across the front. which
Yeah, you do.
hardly see.
Yeah, so it's just
Yeah.
a preference when you're driving by and you just see this white, almost neon look to it. And so it'd be, to me, tone it down.
We've
But
also-
otherwise, no, it's very nice. Like the layout, love the trees and everything, so great. Good job.
We've also had people kind of look at the JWC and read it the other direction,
Yeah, well, yeah.
which is also very confusing. So
Looks like a bowling alley.
3-7?
AMC or something,
not,
bowling
yeah,
alley.
not sure it's going to stay.
No, good job.
Thank you.
Okay. On the, I'm trying to look on the drawing, but on the conceptual, you have the sidewalk in the front. I can't really tell on the drawing, but so you will have sidewalks in the front? Okay. And along the edge, it looks like you have fencing. What type of fencing are you planning on?
I believe it's a wood fence,
Okay,
so for privacy on the sides.
okay. And Yeah, I like all the trees. Looks good. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank y'all.
Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve?
Commissioner Rose? Second. And Commissioner Bounds. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Motion passes. Items K through P are all preliminary plats for the Georgetown subdivision. Aubrey, can you provide a summary?
Yes. So I'm going to kind of talk about items K, L, M, N, O, and P, kind of all collectively. These are all sections of roadway plats or residential sections in the Georgetown subdivision. The master plan I provided in your backup material, and we added labels for the platting sections. There's two different engineers working on these plats, and there's a lot of comments remaining on the ones that they did resubmit. And then the next item is for some extensions on some sections they didn't resubmit or respond to the comments. The staff's recommendation is to disapprove these with reasons. Basically, because there's really no way that we could approve section 1 without the road plats being approved to get to the sections. I did touch base with the city of Alvin. They have not approved Georgetown Boulevard section 1 either. The day I called her, they had just provided comments to the engineering firm like that day or the day before. So they do not have approvals through the city of Alvin for the first section of the boulevard either. So y'all, if you would like, I think you could make a motion to consider all of those items as one, if you wanted to take the same action on all of them.
You go ahead and offer up a motion, then have a quick discussion?
Sure.
Okay. Would anybody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to disapprove items K through P with reasons that were provided in our backup material.
Okay, do we have a second?
A second.
You did say a motion to disapprove, right? Okay.
Sorry, yes, no, disapprove, yeah.
Making sure I just, okay. I only heard the approve part, so I'm just making sure.
No,
Miss the dis.
disapprove with reasons.
Okay,
Okay,
perfect.
we'll step back to discussion now. And this time, I'll actually let you start, Commissioner Rose.
How many times have they submitted? Do we even know?
Oh, I think
I
we've
have a
lost
running
count.
tally. Y'all can take guesses if you want, or we can discuss, off-screen. In our current software system, they go back to 2018.
Oh, goodness.
And each one has like a withdrawal, a resubmittal, an extension, and it's been, off the top of my head, 2018, 2021, 2022, 2024, 2025, and then now here we are.
I don't know about the rest of you guys. I haven't talked to any of you about it, but I'm kind of tired of seeing this. And I've seen it quite often, and even back when I was on the drainage district, they were pulling stuff through that they handled it the same way even back then, which was early on. I'm not inclined to approve it at all, just because I think they just keep trying to get by with something. I don't know what it is. But I don't think they don't seem to be putting their heart into it, if you ask me, because I know you guys give them comments back and then they return them, and some of them are done, some of them are never addressed, and frankly, I'm just tired of it. And I think they're wasting your time and our time with this over and over and over again. That's my comment.
Commissioner Anderson.
I didn't have that much history, but as I looked at the comments and recommendations from staff, it just felt like something's missing. And I still don't know what it is, but something just seems to be missing in the whole process from the submittal side. And I really appreciate the reviews and recommendations you're making, but or something, and Marcus, you said it quite well. I just didn't know what it was.
Commissioner Bounds?
You know, to make a note from Cool Hand Luke, get your head on right, Luke. So I think that's what they need to do, is they just need to get their head on and resubmit this at the right time when they're ready to actually work with us on it, work with our team.
Mr. Phillips?
Yeah, I feel like that there's so many things that have been overlooked, and that there have been plenty of opportunities for them to clean up this with their comments. And I'm not exactly sure if it's, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the different engineering firms and just the lack of organization, but not giving the responses and coming back again and again. And the fact that it goes all the way back to 2018 is concerning.
Commissioner Mann?
Thank you so much for working on this. It's hard to care for someone else's project more than they care for it themselves. I won't beat it any further than that.
We kind of went out of order, so I just want to make sure, are you with the applicant? No. Okay. I just wanted to give you a chance to speak if you were. Okay.
Even if you were, he wouldn't say so.
Didn't mean to call you out, but, yeah, for me, I mean, we've looked at this thing several times in many different formats, and there's been multiple changes through time, right? This is eating up you guys' time, here, staff. We've looked at it several times. It's eating up volunteer time, eating up community resources, tax dollars, to chase after something that's just not ready. I think they need to get it together and come back with a solid plan before we consider this. Okay, anybody else?
I would like to brag on city staff a little bit. They submitted 10 plats on one submittal day, and we all did our reviews and turned it around in a week.
It's amazing.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Public Works, engineer, like, yeah.
You guys are definitely doing your share.
And who was left out during that time while you were working on this? That's, I think, the point that we're all trying to make.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Or, no, do we have a motion? Sorry.
No, we have a motion and a second. We just need a motion and a
Okay.
second to disapprove.
Yeah, we went out of order, okay. So we have a motion, we have a second.
A vote.
All in favor? Okay. Motion fails. Or,
The
Motion.
disapproval,
motion passes. Okay. Q, extension request. 30-day extension for preliminary plat applications. Consider approving a request from the applicant for a 30-day extension for preliminary plat applications for the following subdivision plats in accordance with Local Government Code 212009B-2. I, Georgetown Boulevard Phase 3 Street Dedication Preliminary Plat. 2, Georgetown Section 4 Preliminary Plat. 3, Georgetown Section 5 Preliminary Plat. And 4, Georgetown Section 6 Preliminary Plat. Aubrey?
So this.
Tongue-tied.
So this is a request to give them a 30-day extension for the preliminary plat application. I will say this is on the back half of the development. I mean, we have Georgetown Boulevard, Section 2, Section 1's in Alvin. They've got 2 phases of Sherry Lane, and then Sections 1 and 3. Section 2 is in Alvin. So I feel like they have plenty of work to keep them busy. I don't think a 30-day extension for these plats is going to buy them any time. So,
And the applicant is not here. We'll move to discussion, commission discussion. Let's start with Commissioner Anderson.
Yeah, I was wondering too, is why 30 days? Yeah, I don't have a problem giving 30 days, but what did they come up with in 30 days that they haven't done already? So I was kind of like, it's almost like a non-issue. It's like, give you 30 days, and come back for another 30 days. It just doesn't seem like it's going to be much accomplished. But anyway.
Commissioner Bounds?
I mean, I agree with all of our statements beforehand on K through P. If they haven't done what they needed to do. They're not going to finish anything in 30 days, so I'm not really for that.
Commissioner Mann?
My only question was any legal ramifications of if there's a 30-day request, because they think that they can do it, are we obligated for a 30-day extension? Okay. And my notes, I wrote 30 days, question mark, how much more, if I were them, I would ask for more than 30 days. I don't even know if that's an option, but there, again, 30 days, from 2018 to 2026, I don't know what 30 days is going to buy.
Commissioner Phillips?
I agree with the same sentiment. I don't see what the 30 days is going to accomplish.
Mr. Rice?
I agree with the same thing, but just out of clarity, what are the repercussions, giving them 30 days versus not giving them 30 days?
So basically, if we don't grant them 30 days, their time period is expired and they have to make a new application.
Okay. I was going to ask that same question. But yeah, no, I see no need to keep kicking it down the road, so do we have a motion?
Motion to deny?
Do we have a second?
Second.
Anderson? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Motion declined. Item 5, communications. Receive an update regarding the comprehensive plan update, a Resilient Communities Project, RCP grant from the General Land Office. Aubrey?
So we are continuing to work on the comprehensive plan update. The online survey is officially closed. The next comprehensive plan advisory committee is going to be Thursday, April 30th from 5 to 7 here in the council chambers. We will be posting a public agenda for that to invite the public for input. I think the consultant is planning on having a special speaker at that meeting, and they're starting to formulate goals and objectives and recommendations for the plan. So keep the ball rolling.
Do you mind me asking how much response you got on the?
We had 319 responses on the survey, which I was not all impressed with, but they said that's the most responses they've ever gotten on their surveys. So I'm like, okay.
Good. Okay, item B, announcement of the Planning and Zoning Commission regular meetings for Thursday, April 23rd, 2026, and Thursday, May 14th, 2026. Item C, receive the March 2026 DRC report and business report. They're in our backup material, but anything you want to add to that, Aubrey?
No, sir.
Okay. City Council updates from our liaison. Councilmember Joe Matranga.
Good evening, Commissioners. So I have to say, in all my years on P&Z and on council, the word plat was used tonight more than I've ever heard it before. So in the last city council meeting, Aubrey gave her quarterly update to the council on community development. That's really was the key P&Z related item. We also, just as a matter of communication, we also we voted and concurred with the city manager's hiring of a new director for the library, Ms. Melissa Baker. So if you haven't heard that yet. We also talked in comments that there are two things that I mentioned. One was that there was an opening currently on the commission, and I think several people are considering turning in, that I've talked to, are considering turning in applications. So I hope you have a good round of candidates to take a look at for for the Planning and Zoning Commission. And I guess the last thing is, as a reminder to everybody, the ever popular Spring Sparkle is going to go on this Saturday over in not Stevenson Park, in Centennial Park. So if you have things that you'd like to figure out how to get rid of, that's the time to do it. And that's all I had.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
I have to clean out my garage.
We will continue with our communications and comments from our commissioners. And this time, I'll just start out, just as you all noticed, Commissioner Conrad has stepped down, so she's no longer here. We greatly appreciate the time she dedicated to the Planning and Zoning Commission. And we really just appreciate the volunteerism. But also just echoing to the city staff that our decisions tonight have nothing to do with your performance. It was just the other outlying concerns that made our decisions. So we appreciate everything you guys do. All right, Commissioner Bounds.
I don't think we could trust anybody more than what we trust Becky and Aubrey and Karen, of course. So the work that they do is just amazing and overwhelming, so we appreciate it. And definitely, like he said, it's not a reflection on you guys. So thank you for everything.
Commissioner Anderson.
I truly appreciate all of the material. It was overwhelming to see 347 pages coming at us, but I got through it all. And I was just thinking about the effort that you put into getting that to us, and having a week to look at it was very helpful. So I just want to thank you for the hard work that you've done.
I was waiting for somebody to say on page 276. Commissioner Rives.
You guys never cease to amaze me, the amount of work you put out. And I always call, and Becky bends over backwards for whatever I ask. And you guys gave me all 276 pages, whatever it was. I appreciate that, because sometimes I just have to see it. I'm usually a pretty patient guy unless I'm driving. But I don't know how you guys put up with some of the stuff that comes back over and over and over again. So another round of kudos to you guys.
Commissioner Phillips.
Yeah, you guys are doing a great job, and you make it so much easier for us to be prepared for these meetings. I really appreciate all of the efforts, and I appreciate the feedback from the public, the comments. I mean, they help us to understand, the perspective of our community, and I particularly respect all of my fellow commissioners, and I learn a lot from your comments and appreciate your opinions, and I'm just glad to be here.
Commissioner Mann.
Always happy to be here. And again, the level of detail that y'all put in, the level of work you put in, every time that I'm reading through page 274, and I'm like, man, I'm so glad that other eyes have been on this already once. So I do appreciate that with y'all. And I was actually, for everybody up here, I was actually very shocked at how much we were in agreement. I thought I was going to be an outlier tonight, but I also was really happy to see that everyone put time and energy and thought into what we're doing. And I think that's what makes it as good as it is, and that's what makes people like Mr. Johnson come here and say, no, we want to see y'all do this so that we can have it out in the open and talk about it. So I appreciate all of you.
Okay. We'll move to staff comments. Aubrey?
I do have a few announcements. We've got a busy week coming up here at the end of April. I sent out an email before the meeting. Texas Downtown is putting on a webinar called More Than a Road, Transforming Corridors into Catalysts for Downtown Joy. So their presentations are usually pretty good. Texas Downtown is a nonprofit organization that's statewide. We're a member, so these webinars are free to us. I've also kind of been attending some of their regional roundtables. So they're having gatherings in downtown. So LaPorte was the last one that I went to. And it's fun to see other cities, evolving their downtowns. Like, I didn't even know LaPorte had a downtown, but it was so much fun. Ed's Bistro is in downtown LaPorte, but they have a bookstore and a snow cone place. Like, it's just really fun. So I've enjoyed seeing the downtowns. So I'll be hosting that webinar here. It's from 11 to 12 on April 22nd. So if you want to come, let us know by Tuesday. We may have to post an agenda of a possible quorum if more than 4 of y'all want to come. So we definitely need to get a head count. But please come if you can. I'm sure it'll be great information. And even if not everything applies, sometimes we get little takeaways from those things. Also, CEDC is hosting an event for Small Business Week. Their event is going to be on Monday, April 27th from 11 to 6 at the Hope Village Event Center. All the county commissioners basically are going to be there for a panel discussion along with Brian Friedman with BAHEP. And then there's some breakout sessions for the lunchtime or close to lunch. You get a free box lunch. There's 3 presenters for the breakout sessions. I'll be doing one for city permitting and like how small businesses can navigate city regulations. And then at the afternoon, Ryan Walsh with the Houston Sports Authority is going to be our keynote speaker, and there's going to be a happy hour. So should be a great event. It's open to anybody who wants to come, but small businesses, your employees, just a networking opportunity. And then that Wednesday, the 29th, we are going to be hosting the HGAC Bringing Back Main Street. So HGAC does Bringing Back Main Street in the downtowns, whereas Texas Downtown does the regional roundtables. So I always have to, but we have hosted the Bringing Back Main Street before, but I think it was 2017 or 18. So people from other communities are going to come hear about us, talk about our downtown and how it's evolved. So that is on the 29th from 9:30 to noon and here in the council chambers.
Okay. Becky? Karen? And with that, thank you everyone for attending this evening. And the April 9th, 2026 Planning and Zoning Commission regular meeting is now adjourned.
1 hour, 2 minutes, 3 seconds.